Hey guys, it's 2025 and of course we usually start off our year by making our plans for the year. Yeah. So last year, for the plans that I made last year, honestly, I did manage to fulfill almost all of them. The biggest plan for last year was to start off the Farm Up Academy. I mean, of course, there's a lot of other things I had planned on doing, like, building a chicken house. I believe I actually built 2 chicken houses last year, not just one. Yeah, I also planned on starting the Farm Up Academy. It had taken me forever, and finally we managed to start up the Farm Up Academy. So currently it's ongoing. I mean, a lot of people have joined, a lot of people have found a lot of change, a lot of impact for their farms, and things are working really well. So I'm super glad for that, like really glad. Yeah, that's something that has excited me and I'm so happy about that. That was the first thing. But now we need to make plans for 2025. Yeah, it's a new year, and I always do have visions. I always do have goals. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing this with you. Now, before I do, I want to tell you guys the rationale and the reason I make, these videos of 2025 plans. Because in reality, plans are useless if you don't stick to them, if you don't try and fulfill them, if you don't try and make them to pass, yeah? Plans are useless. I personally love making plans, but I prefer short-term plans to long-term plans. Now, plans for this year is kind of like mid-range. It's not really short-term, because short-term would be like, 2, 3, 4 months. Long-term plans are like, 4, 5 years. 1 year is a bit, mid-range, but it's also something that's attainable. Usually by the time I'm telling you guys about a plan or something, it's because I'm already in the process or the time of doing it. Yeah? I'm already doing it. I'm not just sitting somewhere waiting for it to happen. No, I'm actually already working on it. Yeah, and you guys should set plans, goals for your farm and implement them. Setting plans is not as important as implementation. For me, the main reason I've actually been able to grow and become successful and reach this far on my farm is because I implement things. Yeah, I don't just talk about things. I don't just wake up and I'm like, hey, I'll do this, I'll do this. No, I want to do something and I actually do it. Yeah, I tell myself I'm going to do this and I actually set out and do it. Yeah, so we'll start from this tank stand that you guys can see right here. So you guys can see this. This is a tank stand. This looks really cool, guys. Of course, like, some of the building wasn't the best. I mean, the plastering that they did, but I mean, it's decent enough, yeah? So we're left with placing the tanks at the top. You guys might wonder what the hell this is. So this is a tank stand. It's going to carry 2 10,000-liter tanks. It was built from concrete. I chose to use concrete and not metal, yeah? Because I also wanted to use it as storage and something like that. But again, I think like for 20,000 liters, using metal would have been significantly more expensive. I could be wrong, but that's what I calculated. Yeah. So this is going to be a store for me, as you guys can see at the bottom. Now the guys haven't finished plastering. If we can get close, yeah, they poured like a veranda around, as you guys can see, to make sure that the structure is protected from the outside and things like that. But as you guys can see, the wall is not finished. This is not finished. Yeah. So I've already placed a door here, and this is going to be a store where I can keep things inside here. And I put a small iron sheet roofing. Now, in all honesty, that's not going to like play a very huge role, as you guys can see, because very little water goes over there. Yeah. Now you might have thought to yourself, hey, why didn't you just pour another slab right there and use it as another tank stand so that you can place more tanks there? And I considered it, but it would be significantly more expensive to pour another slab there and put more tanks there that I really don't need. In all honesty, I don't think I would need those 2 tanks, because they would be at a much lower altitude to be able to supply the tanks that are downhill on the farm. It's the tanks that are higher up that are able to, supply the other tanks. And if I build anything around here and I need a water supply, I can supply them directly from those 2 tanks up there, yeah? So, so what we are doing currently is that the guys are actually digging a channel which is going to, bring the pipes all the way from the borehole onto this tank. I'm going to place the tanks right there, and then we shall have water. Then after that, now I'll be able to, plant this entire area. It doesn't matter the season, whether it's a dry season or wet season, I can plant on the area and just irrigate, because I do know that I have a reliable source of water. So that's really exciting. This is like, the very first plan of the year. Just finish the installation of the water tanks, put a ladder over here, and then will be done. Yeah, I don't have electricity here, so we're going to take the electricity also through the ground, through the same channel that the guys are going to dig, and we shall place it right here. But the second plan that I do have for this year is actually writing a book. Now, this actually already started last year, yeah, and that's the thing about plans, yeah. I mean, a lot of people will sit down and they're like, "What are your plans for 2025?" Yeah, and the person is like in, let's say in October. And they're like, what are my plans for 2025? They're like, in 2025, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And then you're like, how about you start on your 2025 plans now? They're like, but well, 2025 isn't yet here. Like, what the hell do you mean? I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's 2024 or 2025, yeah? The most important thing is actually fulfilling those plans, making them come to life, yeah? So when does the time really matter? It doesn't really matter. And that's why a lot of people don't fulfill their plans, yeah? So I made a plan of actually writing a book in 2025. I'm hoping that by the end of 2025, it will be completed. And, you know, I'm making some good steps, yeah? So I write a few pages every day. Well, a few days I skip, I'll be honest. But I try to write as much as possible. And hopefully, by the end of 2025, I'll have completed this book. This book is about, you know, how to become a wealthy farmer, yeah? It's about all the knowledge, the skills, the techniques I have personally learned and developed about, you know, starting a farm, running a farm, the administrative part of it, you know, dealing with money, dealing with market, and all those things, generally about running and, you know, becoming a successful, wealthy farmer. It's all about building wealth as a farmer, yeah? All those tips, all the tips I've personally learned, I've placed them, or I'm going to place them in that book, and hopefully by the end of this year, it's going to be completed, yeah? Hopefully by the end of 2025, it's going to be completed, and you guys will get to enjoy it. All right, we'll move on to the next one. So as you guys can see right here, we have 3 chicken houses. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 in the background right there. Now we should have a 4th chicken house right here, and that's supposed to be the next plan. Now that house should have been built in December, but because the prices of feed, you know, went so high and the cost of eggs went so low, I didn't have any extra money that I could utilize to build the house. I had to utilize the money to try and feed the birds and all those things. So I didn't really get extra money, and I didn't want to use personal money. I want the farm to be able to, you know, expand and build for itself. Yeah. So because of that, it delayed the plans, but we're going to build a 2,500 capacity chicken house right here. So that will make it 4 chicken houses. Meanwhile, this is the tunnel that I told you guys. Is it a tunnel? A channel. Yeah. As you guys can see, they left this space because the guys are passing here with wheelbarrows. I think they're going to dig it because the guys can just put a piece of wood. But as you can see, this is it. It's coming from all the way down, yeah, all the way down. And it's going to take water all the way up to the tanks, you know, beyond the banana plantation, all the way up to the tanks, yeah. And this is what we're going to be utilizing. Now we're going to, like I've said, we're going to build another chicken house right here, yeah. So this will bring our capacity to 12,000, because at the farm here we shall have 10,000, and, you know, up with the farm that I started with, we have 2,500. And then finally, you know, I'll just move in between these 2 chicken houses, yeah. And I don't know, I've shared this with you guys before. I do have land just beyond right here, close to 1 acre, that has maize, yeah. So I won't move in there, but I'll just stand here. You guys can see that, yeah. That is maize. All that is maize, yeah? All that land has maize. And the plan for it is that this year, 2025, I'm also going to build a 5,000 capacity chicken house right there, yeah? So not 2,500, but this time 5,000 chickens right there, yeah? So that will mean that by the end of the year, we should have 15,000 birds on the farm. That's the goal, yeah? So my goal for the end of this year on this farm right here is to have 15,000 chickens, yeah. And so help me God, yeah, so help me God. I mean, it could have been quicker, but just the fact that some of the flocks here are old and we need to replace them, so we need to make sure that, you know, we focus on replacing them and also building right there. So I'm really hoping that, you know, that we shall get implemented very soon. You know, we'll actually get to doing that around here very soon, and, you know, the farm can go on well, yeah. So 2 main things I would take away for me: expanding the farm to 15,000 chickens and writing a book. I mean, I was so glad when I got done with the Farm Up Academy. So glad, yeah. And hopefully by the end of the year, these 2 things are going to be implemented. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Let me know in the comment section below What are your plans for 2025? What are the plans for your farm? What are the plans for your life? What are the plans, the things that you dream of, bringing to life in this new year? I'm curious to know. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.